Oh my lord. Ripple and Uphold. Sharing a bed. This is fantastic news. This is fantastic news. And I'm going to get into all of the details of what they talked about in their press releases from both sides, then also give my own thoughts and feelings and let you know how something that I created in my own brain a while ago could be what is happening here between Uphold and Ripple. Let's get into it. Before we get into the video, I want to tell you about a little announcement here. Yes, the 1% Mastermind is going tremendously. It's so much fun engaging with people on that level where we're thinking about the next stage of wealth. So cool, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I realize that many people in this audience really want news. I don't want to make news every day, okay? I don't like keeping on top of things to that degree to make a video every day. I just think everyone else does that who creates content. I just don't want to do that. I want to have something original to say, or at least do a bit of research before any given video. But I know people want the news. So I was going to create a newsletter and I thought, well, that doesn't sound very fun. But what does sound fun is a newsletter. The best name of any newsletter in the world for anyone who's called Lewis. It's the newsletter, where I'm going to give you a weekly update every single Thursday on everything that's happening, XRP, Ripple, ISO 20022, digital assets, and a quick rundown, just so you don't have to spend 24 hours a day researching and understanding what's happening in the news. You can take a break and just see me once a week in your inbox. If you're interested in getting that email every single Thursday, you can register for the newsletter in the description below. So Uphold and Ripple have finally come together. Was this something that I dreamed up in my head? Or am I just kind of reaching? And it reads just like this. Ripple forges new partnership with Uphold to enhance underlying crypto liquidity infrastructure. So let's look at what Ripple do and what Uphold do, and then bring them both together and tell you what it means. So Ripple, as we know, do cross-border payments. They created the XRP ledger, which has an asset within it called XRP. Very fundamental, we all know this. XRP can be used in such a way, with Ripple's help, using on-demand liquidity. On-demand liquidity removes the requirement for banks and companies, potentially, to not have pre-funded accounts anymore. So if you're a bank in the UK and you have a customer who wants to send money to Russia, the bank actually have to hold rubles in order to make that payment. You give them your pounds, they give Russia the rubles and they keep the pounds. So what happens if you have a currency crisis? Let's say you don't have any rubles anymore. How do you pay Russia? It's a really sticky situation. They have found ways around it, but they're not very good. They're very expensive and they're full of what they call in their area, friction. Just lots of friction and not the best way to go. So in comes Ripple and their on-demand liquidity and their XRP asset, meaning these banks and companies no longer need pre-funded accounts of different currencies. They can just hold XRP, and XRP can be interchanged between the different currencies, completely removing Nostro-Vostro accounts, or otherwise known as pre-funded accounts. Now, what Uphold do is that they pride themselves on being an anything-to-anything app or a platform. They're not an exchange, they're not a bank, they're somewhere in between, but they use a whole series of providers to execute trades. They've got so many different providers that they can do this, meaning they have what's called deep liquidity. Now the problem is that they hold liquidity in their books in order to facilitate these trades, so the user thinks, me and you, so we think we're getting that trade done quick, when in reality they're actually using their own money to execute those trades quicker for you so that you can have those assets appear quicker in your account. But it's possible that some of those trades happen after the fact, by Uphold kind of recuperating and balancing the books. Now we've got Uphold, which provides an incredible liquidity infrastructure, meaning the way they've built it all up allows for liquidity to move very easily. Then you've got a liquidity solution in Ripple coming together. So you've got a liquidity solution, liquidity infrastructure, actionable liquidity. That's how it comes together. You've got actual liquidity in a business environment. You know, this is all speculation, right? You could have Uphold operating in a capacity where every single trade uses XRP as the underlying asset underneath there, so from anything to anything using XRP in the middle. But then how else could you use XRP to facilitate functions at Uphold? And one of those functions I was thinking was, well, Let's say you look at off-ramping, for example. It's just annoying to off-ramp. What if when you off-ramp, Uphold actually have to use their own money to transfer that value to bank accounts all around the world, right? You could be in Bangladesh and we could be in the US, and sending money from the US to Bangladesh is just full of friction, right? So if you wanted to off-ramp in Bangladesh, but your money is in the US, there's a cross-border payment that has to happen. And so you don't necessarily have to use XRP as the agnostic asset between trades, but for off-ramping, to send from customers' funds from Uphold to the bank of the customer, that would actually have a greater impact on customer experience of getting their money nice and quick, regardless of where they are in the world. I've said this multiple times. I've even said it on podcasts before, and this was my grand idea. My thought process was, we are likely to see exchanges or platforms similar to exchanges adopting XRP quicker than typical businesses. Why? Because exchanges have this massive cash reserve to facilitate liquidity. Why? That was my question. Why would you have millions and millions of dollars just to execute trades quicker when you could just hold XRP and put that capital, the dollars, to work in other investments or growing the business? You could just have XRP in the middle to facilitate those trades. Ages ago, I was thinking Uphold and Ripple would be the perfect partnership, because we know Uphold are such fans of XRP and the XRP ledger. It seems like they are in position to take advantage of what Ripple can offer. But they also make each other's use case. Uphold want to be anything to anything. XRP can allow that instant conversion through XRP from anything to anything. And then Uphold provide that really seamless infrastructure that the XRPL needs, right? People develop on the XRPL to make something really easy to use and user-friendly. But Uphold have already done that. They've got that. So it's a perfect partnership. And to do what Uphold want to do, XRP is the perfect asset. So it has made complete sense for me. I was thrilled to hear that they had partnered. Now, what I've said here is a stretch. Like, I'm stretching to say that that's how they're using XRP underneath. I do not know. I have no confirmation from anyone. I don't know the exact capacity in which Uphold and Ripple are working together, but I do know, based on the press releases, that they are enhancing their underlying crypto liquidity infrastructure. So that tells us a lot, but it doesn't tell us every single detail. So I have made some assumptions here, but that's my job, right? I'm making some assumptions based on what I know. Now, it always takes one entity to make that jump first, right? I think Uphold are making great steps into working with Ripple, but I've been saying this for a while. Like I said, we need all the exchanges using XRP underneath. It makes complete sense, but it only happens when we have complete regulatory clarity, which, hey, we do now. Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse got completely removed from the situation now, so XRP is now not a security. Where we have Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse in the clear, it takes that kind of news to now seep into the rest of the financial world. We now start seeing adoption and utility by big banks and big companies starting to integrate their services with companies that are now legally in the clear, and there is infrastructure there. And that's where we are at. We're in that blending moment where you've got, no utility, then you've got all the utility. We're in that blending moment, and these partnerships are creating that foundation for that transfer. So I would love to get more information about this from the guys that I know at Uphold. I'm extending an invite, and I've done this on message to him anyway, but Simon McLaughlin, the CEO of Uphold, I would love to have you on just to talk about this partnership and what you see happening in the future. This is incredible work. I'm so happy for everyone at Ripple and Uphold, and I would love to have you on this channel to talk about it more. We are going to make that happen, by the way. That's happening, but I just wanted to have it on camera. Here's the invite. So it's going to be great to see how this unfolds, the Uphold and Ripple partnership. How many more partnerships are going to come out of this as a result? Because as Simon McLaughlin said in our recent interview, he said, you don't want to be the first to jump. And while I think Uphold have been one of the first to jump here, it does mean that people will be more likely, big companies will be more likely to jump at this point, seeing how Uphold has been received in this news, how Ripple has been perceived in this news, and ultimately it's now significantly easier for other companies to jump on, knowing that other people have with success. So we're going to see how this all plays out, how the functioning of Uphold works better, and potentially how even the price of an XRP token could increase with this increased usage and demand. Maybe it has no effect, but it'll be interesting to see nonetheless. That is all for this video. We've been very busy making the newsletter and contributing to the 1% Mastermind consistently. If you are interested in seeing what the 1% Mastermind is all about, continue to watch to the end of the video.
Over the last 6 months, things have started to shift. And by a shift, I mean over the last 6 months, more people who meet that high net worth individual status have been contacting, asking me if I can facilitate large crypto purchases, connect them with people in private equity. And I've found, quite frankly, that I've been quite good at that. And as time has gone on, I've really realized that I can connect people with some fantastic deals, great investment opportunities, and provide solutions for people at that level that you've probably never thought of. I acknowledge that not everyone is a high net worth individual, at least yet. And so that's exactly why I've created the 1% Mastermind. Over the last 2 years of making content, I've seen one of the biggest demands and needs of the audience is to have a list of professionals that you can contact when this whole thing takes off. When all the money comes in, our portfolios are of high value, what now? What do we do? Who do we contact? There's also a group of individuals that want to improve and do business and network among other millionaires to be. Nobody in the digital asset space has ever seen anything like this. Wherever you are in the world, the plan of the Mastermind is to be able to connect you with professionals, not only in accounting and tax and law and estate planning, but to connect you with individuals who actually understand the assets you hold. We know about this all too well. We call an accountant and you know more about Bitcoin and XRP than they do. And it's not just a directory of professionals that we're offering here. We also have unique investment opportunities for individuals, even if you don't meet the accredited investor requirements. When you think about diversifying your assets in the long term, you might be considering real estate, venture capital, private equity. You won't need to go over here to find a deal. You won't need to go over here to find a deal. It will all be housed in that one central location, and you'll be surrounded by individuals that are on the same page as you and want the same thing, not just for themselves, but they want the same thing for you. In addition to all of that, we'll also have a library of content answering your specific questions, not made for views, not made for engagement, but made specifically to add value to the library of content that there will be. As time goes on, the price of the membership will actually go up, and likely will go up every single week from here on out. So join the 1% Mastermind today, and I'll see you in there.